Yo and hello, welcome. Just saying, episode 13 of season 3. I can see my mic is live, and if the universe is being kind to me, both Bromeo and Pyro will not be muted. Gents, are you here and loud?
I'll go first. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't know sign language. I don't know why I did that. That was very offensive.
Well, I can see the right sort of movement, so I'm encouraged. Gentlemen, welcome. It feels like it's been an age. Bromeo and Pyro, you guys weren't here last week. We got the super sub of Borky, who's in chat, filling in, and then Raids is also in chat, who was just in VC just like moments ago, and now he's out there. And we are Pyro and I are collaborating on the stream. So Pyro, you can take a moment to say hello to all of your fans out there.
Yes, my fans. Welcome, my fans. And thank you, Greybeard, for allowing for the introduction. Rocket League's just in a very fun time right now. RLCS is cooking, especially in SSA. Bots are cooking. We've seen them in the NA Quals, which was absolutely wild, making top 32. But they're also supposed to be cooked in a month's time when Easy Anti-Cheat comes around. So we're in a very pensive time in the Rocket League scene as we get towards Split 2, as we get towards Easy Anti-Cheat, and it's a fun time to be in.
Do we have a hard date on the Anti-Cheat? I know it's April, but have we been told?
April's all I know, actually. I don't know when in April.
Okay. Sometime in April. So I think, I don't know if your stream's got an audio delay, Pyro, and I'm not sure how we even solve it. It seems to be okay on my side, but yours anyway. So I don't know.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if it's anything you can do anything about, but there you go, just so you're aware. So let's talk about new things. I mean, the main thrust of tonight is, of course, the qualifier. Open for RLCS is back, well underway. Qualifying weekend, and then GSL coming up on Friday. So that's going to be the meat and potatoes of tonight's episode. But as we lead up to that, season 22 of Rocket League is out. Bromeo, I know you are on some or other really weird schedule, so I don't know how much time, if any, you've even spent in Rocket League in the last month. But there are some things that have been happening. So have you experienced the glory, Bromeo, of the flip reset indicator?
I haven't played around with it yet. Not gonna lie to you, you always throw me on this pedestal just so I can fall under the weight of it. But no, I haven't spent enough time to give a proper opinion on that, and I'm not even at the skill level required to be hitting flip resets anyway. So yeah, I'll leave it to the guys who actually do it to talk about it, Pyro.
Sure, it's really satisfying. I hated the announcement of the flip reset indicator. I was like, every change is just raising the skill floor, but I find it to be a very satisfying change in the game. Not only as a player, but as a caster as well. I've been able to observe some tournaments. CRL in particular is a league that I'm following very closely at the time, and broadcasting some of those matches. And I know that the player has a reset. Sometimes as a caster, you got to do some guesswork. Yeah, I think all 4 wheels hit. He should have a reset. Now we know for sure, which is a really interesting lens to have as a viewer, as a caster, to say, is he going to fake the reset, or did he just never have one? Now we know, which is really interesting, I think.
I was very ambivalent about it. I was like, whatevs. And but the more I saw it and the more I thought about it, I think it helps us to grow the tent of spectator Rocket League. I had a conversation with my wife, who loves watching Rocket League, but she's not familiar with the ins and outs. I've gone through great pains to explain what a flip reset is and how it works. And now it's sort of visual. You get it. I think it adds a whole new dimension to watching it. And then as a player, I don't hit a lot of resets, especially in game. But what I have discovered is I get a lot of accidental resets landing on opponents or teammates' cars. And I'm amazed. The indicator goes, I'm like, hey, I got a flip reset. Don't know what to do with it, but there we go. But overall, I think it's very positive. And then the boost things are far less invasive than I thought they were going to be. Pyro, you sort of get
the exact same reaction that I was like, wow. We're going to know exactly when this boost is spawning and at what time. And then it's like, oh, I played for 2 hours and maybe only twice was I like, oh, the boost is going to be there. So it's something you have to be like very, very attentive to. And so I think it's actually still going to be a learned and gained skill to use this new change to your advantage. It's not like super obvious, like you were saying, Graybeard. It's actually a little bit if you're not looking for it, most of the time you're not going to notice it unless it's like glowing in that half second right before it spawns.
I'm just thinking if they hadn't announced it in the way that they did, had they just snuck it in as a feature and waited for us to discover it, would there have been such a hullabaloo about it? Because I don't think so. I feel like we gave it a platform to be critiqued and discussed. And there were a lot of strong reactions because that's what gets clicks on Twitter. But overall, I don't think these changes were seismic, or at least to the proportion that a lot of people made it to be.
Yeah, well, listen, if there's one thing we know about the Rocket League community, and particularly the sort of the higher you go, sort of toward the pro community, we love to whine, bitch, and moan about weird shit, and these two were definitely part of that. But here we are. We'll absorb it into the culture, and we will move forward quite happily. Well, gents, that's the fun stuff. Now we get to the competitive stuff. A weekend of competitive Rocket League, RLCS, Open number 4, underway, qualifying weekend. And it was, for me, one of the most entertaining, especially the Swiss. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There were some really good contested matches, a couple of surprises. A couple of almost surprises. We'll get into all of those details, our debutants into the GSL top 16 and all of that good stuff. But the high-level news was that there were 113 signups, making it the 5th highest sign-up level in the last, ever in RLCS. So that was good. Of those, 93 were confirmed teams, and there was one suspect team who a few people were convinced were a bunch of bots, whether that they weren't, whatever. They were knocked out in Swiss. But yeah, fun and games. So I thought we will just do what we do, and we'll pontificate on our opinions about the state of competitive Rocket League in SSA. Bromeo, you look like you're deeply pondering something there.
I was thinking, because you mentioned that you had a whole bunch of teams signing up, which is really, really great for the scene. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to find out, because Graybeard, you're one of the big pontificators of, signing up. Is there any way to find out new signups, people who haven't signed up before? How many are returning? How many are new? Because that's something I've had a lot of fun with, is your stats page in the last week. And that sort of information would be really, really cool to have. Like, how many times have you signed up for RLCS? That should be like a global stat that everybody should have. How many times have you signed up and played? And that should be a leaderboard on its own, because I think that would be cool to track.
I think it's a freaking brilliant idea, and I don't know how easily available that information is. I mean, all I can say is for this one, there were a bunch of new people, but I don't know if a bunch is 5, 15, or 20 individuals. I don't know, but there would,
Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, how cool would it be to say, Joe Soap has signed up for 30 RLCS events before he made top 32, or it took him this many tries to make top 16. That's it would give you access to a whole bunch of new information on progression
Mm,
and how active somebody is in the scene. And it
mm.
gives reasons for people to sign up purely to get that checkup on the leaderboard of the amount of times that they've played in it. I don't know. It just seems fun.
I think that's a great idea, and I'll certainly look into how easily available that information is. If indeed it is, or if it's kind of a bit of grunt work, but we'll see. I mean, that info's got to be there. I'm pretty sure if you go to a person's profile on Start, it'll tell you all the tournaments they've been in. But is there an easy way to do it so I don't have to go through 339 profiles to check?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll certainly look into it. All right. Well, let's have a squiz at so qualifying on Saturday. So 93 teams in the double elimination bracket. So 61 of them were eliminated, and 32 went into day 2 Swiss qualifying, and 2 groups. This is pool number 1. These were the first round matchups, and 5 Fears up against LFO, and the early surprise there, 5 Fears dropping an early game, and I was like, oh wow, this is interesting. I mean, it wasn't interesting in the end because they won 3-1, but still, anytime those top 2 teams are dropping games, it's interesting.
I mean, to be fair, you go ahead, Pyro, as I get my thoughts more coherently.
Sure. I thought it was interesting because 5 Fears did this, and as we'll see later on, Pioneers did it as well. So
Yes.
It was a very interesting start to the day. I also found it quite peculiar that 5 Fears is playing LFO as a first round match. Like, can somebody that understands this, like, tell me how that happens?
I will tell you how that happened is, and we're going to talk about the Midwest Mafia team, but Midwest Mafia beat LFO in double elims. So LFO qualified out of the lower bracket.
Okay.
So that's how that happened.
Well, that explains that. LFO doing LFO things. And then they went, you know what? I won't spoil, but yeah, what a story for them to qual.
I mean, it was probably just a nice look into Zany coming in now into LFO and seeing how he's competing with Wordy and Torres. And I'm sad that I missed the early matchups because that is definitely something that I want to watch out for going forward. It's LFO obviously haven't been getting the results they wanted to. They ultimately made it in. Sorry for the spoilers, but seeing these roster changes mid-season, and this is one that was ultimately, you think, forced. But it's good to see Zany gelling a bit with Wordy and Torres.
Let me say here, this is there are no spoilers here. This all happened yesterday. I'd be very surprised if anyone in chat is going to be shocked at what they're seeing here. So feel free to talk it up as we. I mean, we're going to show each round and all of that. We're not going to make it a painful lecture.
What a privilege it would be if all this happened in a black box and we got to showcase the results to everybly.
What happened next?
Yeah, number 8 will shock you.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I see Borky weeping in chat, and who we're not going to be seeing here in Swiss is Unity. They were bundled out in the double limbs, which is a tragedy. We don't see the return of the Unk. So a little hat tip to the lack of Unity in the.
Yeah. Sorry, that's I didn't even realize. I didn't even think about it. I mean, that's not even heading into top 32 hurts my feelings. Sorry, Borky. Do we call them Hunity now?
I like that. That's a little brutal.
It's rude.
Listen, on the subject, to go back a little bit on season 22 and the new things in Rocket League, the new quick chats are a little rough, I got to tell you. Those have already been put to great toxic use in my game. So yeah, that's fun and games. You will notice in this round 1 that all the favorite teams, there were no surprises, at least according to the seeding. All the teams who were expected to win in Pool A did in fact win the first round matchup. Synthesis doing quite well against Fusion. Fusion, a bit of an unknown team. We will hear a lot more about them as we go forward, but they were swept by Synthesis. And then rounds, talking about spoilers, going all the way to round 5 of Swiss. And I was a little concerned at Renshiro, who's like flew all the way to Cape Town. It would have been really, really rough to have been bundled out in Swiss. So,
did you see Renshiro's tweet about that?
Oh, I did. Bro,
yeah. So he said he got the true SSA experience. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. I don't think Bromeo knows though. So you can get him in on it.
Hit me in.
What was it? He lost power in the middle of the
first round of Swiss. His power went out.
Yeah. And he also said he was lagging pretty much the whole time. So it was pretty rough.
Wow.
God.
Welcome to South Africa.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, the ping is low when I've got electricity. Okay, and then you'll see the Punishers won their first round, but they went to 5 games. But Punishers looking really good, as you'll see as we make our way through Swiss. So there we go. This was round 2, the 1-0 matchups on top, the 0-1 matchups at the bottom. And no big surprises there other than Bro Crocro's going 5 games against Team E1. Team E1, of course, is the old Death Cloud minus T-Shell plus Galaxy.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. That result doesn't surprise me as much. Like, I rated Team E1 coming into the top 32 pretty highly. You know, we see the breakup of Triple T. It's like, hold on, this is like a top 8 confirmed team, just about. So what happens when they include Galaxy, who to me was like the shining star of White Rabbit Gaming after he got put off that squad? So I liked E1 coming into this event. I liked E1. They tussle with Bro Crocros. I'm like, yeah, they got it. At this point in the event, I'm thinking this is the E1 I expected.
You won't believe what happened next.
Man, I don't even know.
That was crazy. That was crazy. And I was having a look when I was just doing a bit of prep for this. And usually you can see by having a look at all the people who finished top 17 to 32, there's people with liquid pages and there's people without. And it's a general indicator of who should have made top 16 and, you know, who shouldn't have. And E1 is one of those shining examples of why did they not make it through? Because on paper they had all of the guns that they needed, and with Galaxy, he's performing high. They're all players that have achieved top 16 and more throughout the season. So I'd love to find out what happened there.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad you talked for a while, Bromeo, because in the middle of that, there was suddenly an update to my audio stuff, and I had no mic for about a minute. So thank you for filling that time.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Anyway, now, well, the other half of Death Cloud, because T-Shao got kind of, it was a little rough because T-Shao was going to be with, was it with Tweaks and Yilo or whatever, and like last minute Galaxy came in. So T-Shao was having to scramble and find a roster, and he did find a roster with 2 reunion players, unknowns, going under the name of Vinland. You see they lost their first round match, but second round they beat the brutal Loggers, sweeping them there. And by the way, brutal Logger, Pyro, do you remember the name Risque?
Yeah.
Okay, so Risque was kind of in the mold of Ravi and Devour, and in fact he was around before Ravi and Devour, and I really thought he was going to go far, and then I don't know, I think there was some 6-man shenanigans, and he was like, okay, I'm done, I'm not going to play anymore, and he didn't for a good year, 2 years, and he's now playing again and made top 32, which is fabulous. But didn't go too far here. But it was great to see him again, and I hope we see more of him. Okay. And then my boys doing it for Greybeard after their loss in round 1, had a win in round 2, which gave me hope that we would finally have a Greybeard in the main event. But didn't work out in the end, as you will see, Because we move then into round 3, and there we go. Were there any big shots? Oh, look at that at the top. 5 Fears, Strive Esports, 3-2. Strive, that's Wilu, Halloist, and Eagle pushing 5 Fears to game 5, and that game was close. It was a 1-goal game, that game 5. And but Pyro, how many times have we seen, like, you go, okay, is this the big upset? Is this the big upset?
Right.
But
Yeah,
5
you're
Fears
so
find
close.
a way to win.
I feel like the big takeaway here is we get to see the peak of an all reunion team. Like, we are so close on a full reunion team contending with the top of the South Africans, plus the imports, right? And yeah, I feel like we kind of expected this a little bit from Strive during the last split, but didn't quite see it. And clearly the work was put in between splits as they're ready to rock. I like it.
Man, I said this in previous splits. Strive is one of those teams that blows super hot or blows super cold, and on the day, if they're feeling themselves, they could beat anybody. And I think they came pretty close here, and history will remember that 5 Fears clears, but it was so incredibly close, and I wish I could have seen more of this as it happened. But by all accounts, I do think we should be seeing more from Strive and Wilu this upcoming split.
Yeah, well, they're certainly looking far better than they did. I feel like they're much closer to living up to expectations. And then second there, Synthesis sweeping the Bro Crows to make it through once again 3-0 in Swiss. They did have to, in round 2, they had to reverse sweep the Punishers. In round 1, they swept. Round 2, Punishers came out and were punishing like 2 games, bang, bang, and they were proper solid wins, those, and Synthesis had to dig themselves up, but dig themselves up they did, and then making it out of Swiss in round 3, and then eliminated were the Wave and Brutal Loggers. As for other results, I don't think, everything else went to type over there. I don't think there were any other big surprises in round 3. But round 4, Bro Crows getting themselves back on the bicycle and getting out of Swiss after their loss to Synthesis. They sorted out rounds. Strive, it feels like, I'm always... the reunion on reunion violence there, because I'm really a fan of reunion, of course. I would love to see more of them in the main event, but Strive making quick work of the Vinland boys there. And then the Punishers sweeping LFO.
That should be closer. I mean, we know we've already gone through okay, I'm sorry, the Punishers, we underrated you. You gotta like that. But still, LFO have to be taking a game off this team in a best of 5, even with the Zany insertion. Like, that is going to pose question marks for that team moving forward. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I can be hyped up on the Punishers too, because between them and between Synthesis, you really don't know what to expect. Like classic Synthesis flying into GSL, looking great. They might even just sweep every single GSL match as well, and then bottom out 2 losses in a row in playoffs. Like, we don't know what to expect. That's been the story of this season.
The other one that I'm trying to make sense of in my head is how do you say their name? Ibele,
yeah.
Ibele. They went 5 rounds. They picked up an early win up against Fusion, but then got smacked around by 5 Fears and LFO. And in this round, they beat out Nomex. But again, that's sort of should have been expected. Is this Ibele team somebody that we should have expected into top 16, or do you feel like where they're hovering right now is where they should have ended up anyway, because that's Tristan, Zyro, and
Yeah,
Quals.
that's a good question.
It's a
Yeah.
decent team. Tristan and Zyro, very frequent top 16ers. I don't know what to make of this, because it's not a team I'm entirely clued up on. So I'd much rather ask you guys before I put an opinion out there.
To me, they're a team that are kind of memeing their way through RLCS. I think Zyro would like to take it a little more seriously, but hasn't been able to get himself on a settled roster. Quasar, I don't know at all, so I can't comment there. And Tristan's an OG, but he's I don't know. He's like, yeah, well, they'll have a team, they'll win, they'll lose, whatevs, have a good time. So given that, their performance doesn't surprise me.
All right.
And then going round 5, and the big news there, I mean, Rounds making it out. So, yeah, a big
Round
relief for
5.
Inchiro. Yeah, that would. And LFO, I mean, it would have been disastrous for them not to make a top 16. They've been struggling with their top 8s. But, yeah, geez, not making top 16 would have been catastrophic. But the big news there, Vinland T-Show's team against Fusion. And Fusion is Zan. And we do get a couple of our, or at least one debutant out of the Fusion team. Zan makes his first top 16. And then filling out the roster are Lixa and Raf. Raf was with Thrive to Greatness, I think, last split. Now with this, and they've done well. And I saw Mace was in chat earlier. He was their sub, not called into duty yesterday, which I'm sure he's happy with. But yeah, shout out to them. But it does mean that none. This frustrates me no end. Death Cloud made every single GSL, every single top 8, and now none of that roster, none of them are even into the top 16. No T-Shao, no Twinza, no Tweaks, and it is very, very sad for me.
The internal politics of Rocket League will never cease to shock and awe me, because even when you're onto a winning formula, things still just, crumble and fall. And at that point, if you're placing quite well, it's free prize money. It's money you're making for playing the game that you love. And unfortunately, there's some players finding out because things didn't work out. And I think that's just the nature of competitive esports, is that you're constantly aiming for improvement, and sometimes you see improvement as the people with you. And I know that we do that in solo queue all the time, is that I lost because of a teammate. But you elect to be with this team, and I feel like this sort of stuff, it makes me sad, because they're all very, very good players and should be making top 16 very consistently.
Hundreds of %. And that brings us to the 8 teams making it out of Pool A. In Swiss Synthesis, 5 Fears, Brococo, Strive, The Punishers, Rounds, LFO, and Fusion going through to Friday. That brings us then to Pool number 2. And those were the first round matchups. And we spoke about 5 Fears dropping a game. I watched more of the 5 Fears. Well, I couldn't watch much 5 Fears because they had no stream, which was very sad. But I certainly watched more of the Pioneers and 5 Fears when they were in games that did have a stream. Normally I don't even bother with 5 Fears and Pioneer stream, because you know what's going on there. It's like the shortest streams ever, bang, 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 9 games, peace out, see you Friday. But seeing 5 Fears drop a game, then dropping 2 against Strive, and then I popped in on Pioneers, and my first look at the Pioneers stream, they were down 1-0. I'm like, what is going on here? This, but both 5 Fears and Pioneers righting their ships and getting back to regularly scheduled programming.
Well, I was excited about the win there for SCR, because I love watching Ram play Rocket League, and wanted to see how far they could take that. But, in the back of my mind, maybe even the front of my mind, I knew Pioneers would win out. It wasn't, in the end, the result was going to be the result. But I'm happy to see some other teams come out with a bang here. Like Astronic is a team I have a lot of faith in coming off the end of split number 1. So coming in starting with the sweep here is great to see. Hosky, I could say the same of. That roster looks decent too. So just taking care of business in round 1 is really important, which, the one outlier here is why you see White Rabbit Gaming with a little bit of doubt at the start there, losing in game 5, against Zozumuk.
We're going to take a quick break to take a question from Curry in chat, who says, asks, is the gameplay in SSA slowly improving or is it kind of stagnant? SSA needs a Sphinx-like player, a player who is a level above the others. Pyro, I'll start with you. You can respond to Curry.
Let me make sure that my answer is focused here. And he did tag Renshiro, which is none of us. So
fair enough.
We're giving our unasked for answer here.
That's the joy of what we do.
Of course, it's slowly improving.
Yeah.
No, of course it's slowly improving. We can see that with Worlds results. I mean, it started out as non-existent, and it's now coming to taking big teams to overtimes. So you can use that benchmark. But if you also just watch the gameplay itself and you're asking for more improved players to accelerate the growth in the region, 2/3 is exactly that. I mean, the 2 years of import rosters was supposed to be that. Scrims would accelerate the growth of the region. Constant competition at RLCS was supposed to do that. But the truth is, which with the Sphinx example, is you have those players intermixed with the teams. And I do believe Lewis P. I do believe Tech Oz. I do believe Steak. I do believe other players like that do help to not only improve the pace of the play, I would say expand the horizon of what players should be reacting to in a game when those players bring in those different mechanics to the game. Yes, it is growing. No, it is not stagnant.
Any comment from you, Bromeo?
I've always got something to say. That's why you bring me here, so that I can give you my unwarranted opinion. I think that SSA is definitely heading places. Everybody gets a little bit upset whenever we take an L against somebody who's better than us, but that's just the nature of the world. We're not going to be top anytime soon, but there are definitely signs that we're improving. The fact that we went 2 minutes of overtime against the best team in the world at the time, NRG. With Guns being one of the big names there, and they played so damn well, and it was such a good little indicator as to where we are with our Rocket League. So I think it's very easy to go, we're not improving, but it's also even easier if you just allow yourself to look at some of the gains when you compare yourself a little bit more open-mindedly against better teams. And I think we performed admirably at the Boston Major. And I definitely think that is possibly one of our best showings that we've seen so far. And like people saying Guns in chat, 100% agree. When Guns is firing, he's untouchable. And my opinion of him as a player has changed a lot in the last season or so. I used to think he was way too inconsistent, but this last season he's really started locking in and really proving that he deserves to be on top. So I think we don't need more Sphinx-like players. I think we've got the players. I feel like we just need the orgs. We need the orgs to keep the players together, and not just a marquee org or two. We need a top 4 amount of orgs to keep the more players together for longer and be able to identify who are the up and comers, because the more Rocket League IQ, the more of the brains trust that we have focused on the region, the better we'll do, because we've got more resources to work with. So I think we don't have a player problem. I do think we have a shortage of orgs. I mean, how a team like Crocros, since the fall of that other purple org whose name is not coming to my mind immediately, Cosmico. Ever since the fall of Cosmico, they haven't found an org, but they've consistently placed top 6.
Yeah.
And that's just a very strong sign that we need to work on that side of things as well.
Well, there you go, Curry. I think that was a fairly comprehensive response to your question to Renshiro.
Yeah, Hero might say hasn't responded yet. So love to hear your
There you go.
opinion as well, Renshiro.
Death Cloud Esports, you'll see second on that list over there. And this is a completely different Death Cloud roster. So they're starting with reset their points. This is the old Amapiano team, minus Kexi, who's playing in APAC this weekend. And they brought in Kaka, who, along with Hey with Riz, were terrorizing us during the course of 2025. And they kind of picked up where they left off last split, sweeping their way in the first round, looking very good throughout the Swiss. So shout out to them, making it through Swiss in 3. And Space Crisp, who's the Death Cloud owner. I mean, he must, the old Death Cloud roster made every top 8, but my word, they didn't make it easy. They took the longest possible way to get to top 8, where I think Space Crisp was just breezing last night, like out in 3. He had the rest of the night. He's chilling in my chat. But yeah, looking as strong as ever.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm a piano caught fire, right? And we kept asking them over and over, how much are you guys talking? Are you going to stick together? And the answer was, we're not talking. We don't know if we're going to stick together. And we pretty much got the answer that no, it's not going to happen. But we know Karka. We know that Hey with Riz was like just so close to winning regionals, if not for Foot Esports, taking them down every single time that they came against them. And Karka brings that level of play. So, yeah, it's not surprising Death Cloud winning a little more convincingly with that Karka insertion.
And then for the first time since RLCS 2022-23, we saw Team Espionage. Espionage were kind of always there with some kind of roster back then, haven't been around a long time. They picked up the roster of KV, Lorax, and Olam, formerly known as Project Zero in Open 1, Project 1 in Open 2, or whatever it was. They were Project Zero, Project 1, and now Team Espionage, but getting swept by Death Cloud. And then Astronic. My goodness gracious, Astronic. They had an excellent round 1 matchup, sweeping their way through, had an excellent round 2 match. And then it started to go south. They went all the way to round 5. And what made me nervous there, similar to Renshiro flying to Cape Town, but Inspire playing from EU for the qualifiers, but flying tomorrow to be in SSA. And I was worried about them being bundled out of Swiss and Inspire flying all this way to have a weekend off in Bloemfontein.
Yeah, there were some very, very clutch round 5 groups, round 5 games that were played. That's for sure.
And then you'll see Marine Region at the bottom. That's old Cristobal Colon. They got picked up by an org called Marine Region. And that is Pingu. And then I believe this is the first time we have ever had a brother duo in the same team in a top 16. Eli and Dalton making it through Swiss into top 16. So that's pretty cool, because I didn't have high hopes for them, but they done good.
Yeah, they have done good, and it's interesting to note LFO having dropped Eli, given the fact that they weren't performing to where they needed to be. LFO took 5 games to qualify. Marine did it in 4. So Eli's sitting pretty here, but I'm pretty sure he's got a lot to prove going forward. They put some good results in. The only loss that they had was against Astronic. And Astronic going all the way until round 5. These guys did it in 4, beating out Thrive to Greatness, Team Espionage, and SCR. So good teams. Good teams. It wasn't a free route through, and I'm definitely watching these boys to see how they do. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do pretty well, because Eli is also a force to be reckoned with when he's blowing hot, and so I think having your brother in a team is home ground advantage. So I think it's going to suit him just fine.
And then Midwest Mafia, we're going to talk about them a lot because I don't know what to make of this team, because they beat LFO in the double elimination on Saturday, and then beat Bro Crows. Or no, who did they beat? They beat, what is the big team they beat? Someone help
I can help
me
you out there.
Yeah,
Death Cloud.
Death
No,
Cloud.
no. They lost
No,
to Death Cloud. Sorry.
Oh.
Are we talking about their win against SCR?
I feel like they beat someone. I don't know where it was. Oh, maybe we'll see it there. But they beat another big team somewhere along the line, but did take Death Cloud to game 5. And so they have the potential to be. I don't know what to make of them. I feel a little bit like it's the Punishers team of Open number 1, where we were like, yeah, they'll probably get maybe top 16, but probably top 20, and then they made top 8. They're sort of that kind of team. And it does include Peanuts, who made top 8 in Open number 1 with Nkandla style. So and then Jerome making his very first top 16. So yeah, I don't know. And I know, Bromeo, we were talking about them prior to going live. It's like,
yeah,
it's hard to have an opinion one way or the other.
Okay, so let's just start here and have a look at their. They did this Swiss in 4 rounds as well, having won 3, lost 1. Their first game was against the Espada. The Espada making up, let's have a look here, Satsuko, Basil, and Rowan, non-unknown teams, so that's okay. Their second game was against DCE, Death Cloud, went to game 5, like you said. They did pretty well there, forcing it all the way to the end, ultimately going down. But then they went up against Team SCR, and we've spoken about them already. Team SCR is Kazuto, Stradic, and Ram. So a good team. They're a good team. So that is a good result. Went to game 5, and their last game, also going to game 5, was Flights Reacts fans, and that was let me just get the team for you: Zeph, Chunkler, and Dilly. So yes. These boys went to game 5 in every single one of their Swiss matches. But they had a part in knocking out some of the more respectable teams. So I'm not sure where to place them yet. They're definitely a team I'm going to be watching heading into this event. But from what we saw, they put some good results against some really good teams.
And shout out again to Varate, who's our RSC graduate into RLCS, making his first top 16. Enormously proud of him and enormously happy for him. So Varate, along with the rest of the Midwest Mafia team, huge shout out for making it through. And then I think I think the big upset for me, or not a big upset, but where White Rabbit Gaming beating Team HSK. White Rabbit Gaming beat, was it HSK or another? There was another, was it Astronic? When did they play?
They did defeat Astronic, yes.
Okay, yeah, because that was, and White Rabbit Gaming, this is yet another White Rabbit Gaming roster, would you believe, built around Wee Casper.
No.
Surprise, surprise.
Appleso's there, or as the Team HSK stream kept calling him, Apple Zeus. moving from sub into main roster, and then they brought on Mass out of Algeria, who played most of last season and maybe even the season before with a variety of teams, but now on White Rabbit Gaming, and did very well. They cleared Swiss and into the top 16, so shout out to them. But I did feel like Astronic should have done a far better job. Do you know who Astronic's reminding me of right now? They're reminding me of old school synthesis Swiss when they were Genesix. Genesix in Swiss is kind of like what Astronic is right now.
That is not a label you want. It's not. It's fun for the regular fan, but not for the Astronic fans. Yeah, Astronic had to go deep. I'm kind of glad you mentioned White Rabbit Gaming because I actually wanted to call it HSK. Like, we have to remind ourselves that this is a team that made top 16 every time in Split 1. They even made top 8, I think, in the most recent Open. So HSK, one of the few teams who are burning pretty hot coming into Split 2, didn't make a change, and then fall in this fashion, right? They lost to T2G in that round 2 of Swiss. Then they lose to White Rabbit Gaming, and they lose in round 4 as well. I think that's like another squad that you kind of look at to say, oh yeah, that, you know, with all the shakeups, they should be a shoe-in for 16. Didn't happen.
Yeah, well, talking of Thrive to Greatness, they make their second top 16, and enormously happy for them. A reunion team, but they do have Sully out of EU. I think he is French. And I can't remember. Raf was on their roster. He left, and they brought in, it was either Tykop or Yabu. I can't remember which one of those two. Oh, it was Yabu. Yabu is a top 16 debutant. So shout out to them. And Org I'm coming to enjoy a lot. They're very passionate about their Rocket League. So pleased with them, which does bring us to the subject of reunion players. And I've sort of been banging on about how many reunion players there seem to be competing in RLCS, but not enough of them breaking through to top 16 and then out of that into top 8. The record for the number of reunion players in top 16 is 7, and they have again equaled that record. So again, we have 7 reunion players making top 16, and it's generally, you sort of count on T-Shao and probably Wilu to make it through, and maybe Eagle. But hoping there'll be a better showing in top 8, and then more reunion players, please, in Opens 5 and 6. And there we see round 5, Astronic beating Team SCR, but it was a bit of a sweat for at least a portion of that. And then Zozumok, which is 5BS's team, going down to Team Espionage, and are they? I need to check. I don't know if either of you know if Lorax, KV, and Olam made a top 16 in the first split.
I do not think so. I would almost. Oh, okay. Zan saying they made top 12.
Really? Well, I can. Let's check KV.
Are you using your website?
I am.
Plug the site.
Yeah, open number 2. They made, yes, and they finished top 12. That was correct. Okay, so it's not. They're not debutants. They have been there before. But yeah, congrats to them, and I'm sure. Bromia, do you even know who Team Espionage is? I think we had this conversation, or we tried to.
We did. We ascertained that Team SP is not Muzz. Muzz is Digital Devils. But Espionage, I feel it's some clandestine operation that it's such a deep inside thing that, you know, we don't know because we're not there. It's like a personal joke. You won't get it if you weren't there.
Yeah.
And I feel Espionage just surfaces out of nowhere. We've never had a spokesperson for them on the show. That's actually a good idea. I would love to find out who runs and manages Team Espionage and how they decide who gets to rep them or not. And so, yeah, if anybody from Espionage is watching, come chat to us on the show. It'll be fun. I promise. We have cookies.
KV, Lorax, Olam, get the boss of Team Espionage in touch, please. Okay, then that gives us the 8 teams making it out of Pool 2 of Swiss were Deathcloud Esports, Pioneers, Marine Region, Midwest Mafia, White Rabbit Gaming, Astronic, Thrive to Greatness, and Team Espionage. And so just to recap on our debutants, 4 players make their debut into the RLCS main event. Zan, Yabu, Jerome, Varate. Well done, guys. Great to see you. Good luck on Friday. And that then brings us to the GSL matchups for Friday. And as we've come to expect, it seems to be a little more cluttered on one side than the other side.
I haven't seen these, so I'm really excited.
Yeah,
excellent. Okay,
check
well,
these groups out.
Done. Group A matchups for Friday night are Synthesis versus Team Espionage, Midwest Mafia versus the Punishers, Pioneers versus LFO, Crow's Astronic. That is kind of a weird bracket. I mean, if you look at
the odd one.
Yes, it is an odd one.
Goodness me. The ones that really, I love Crow's Astronic because, the settled hand of the SSA analysts would say Crow's no question. But the excited person might say that Astronic is going to find their way into a win of that, especially when you consider Inspire, right? Having good ping. That's another consideration. And, the last time I doubted Astronic, they proved me wrong. So I'm very timid about predicting that last match.
But if you look at the top half of this bracket, Synthesis, Espionage, Midwest Mafia, the Punishers, there is a world where Midwest Mafias make top 6 coming out of GSL.
What world is that?
It's a world. It's a world. It might not be this one, but it definitely is. Look, Midwest Mafia, the Punishers is another game to watch. Pioneers, LFO, I don't think is going to go the distance. Synthesis, Team SP, also don't think it's going to go the distance. I think the best possible thing for the viewers coming, this weekend, Midwest Mafia, the Punishers could be interesting. If the Punishers are on Song, I think they'll slam it out. They're my immediate favorites for this. But given the fact that Midwest Mafia were Game 5 merchants all the way through Swiss, do not be surprised if this one goes to Game 5 as well. Crow's Astronic is going to be interesting. I don't want to attach my name to this one just yet because I feel like I need to research more into how the weekend went for both of them, especially with regard to score lines. But Crow's, they should take this. They should. But we've also seen some legendary runs from Astronic, where on the day they looked unstoppable. So I feel like those 2 are my picks for the day. Crow's Astronic and Midwest Mafia, the Punishers. I will be looking out for them.
Midwest Mafia Punishers will be close. I think that's a Punisher sweep.
Okay, tell me why. Because I completely
Because the last time we doubted Punishers, they destroyed everybody. And they actually look really good coming out of Swiss this time around. I don't know. I don't have reason to have any faith built into Midwest Mafia yet, but I have a long resume built from the Punishers putting in work split 1. But I don't know. Graybeard, do you think that's going to be a close match? And also, are you willing to predict the Crow's Astronic?
Yeah. Let's hear your opinions. You're very diplomatic.
Midwest Mafia are a chaos factor for me because it's like they went to Game 5 every game out of Swiss, and that's like no matter who they faced, strong team, slightly weaker team, whoever they were, they're going to Game 5. So and they beat LFO in double elims on Saturday. So they have the capacity. I'm not yet convinced that they have. Jerome has been trying to get into top 16 for ages, and as he's fallen short, and suddenly He's like sort of in the giddy GSL. Holy shit, we might make top 6 here, and I just don't know. And the way the Punishers look, they look incredibly strong and incredibly dangerous. So I back the Punishers to take that one. Then I'm going to come to Bro Crocro's Astronic, but I just want to mention Synthesis. We mustn't and can't negate the capacity for Synthesis to choke here, because this is they had a similar opportunity in one of the earlier opens to make top 6, and they managed to somehow conspire to go out before top 8. They should, and I hope they have a conversation about it, because what an opportunity with this bracket they have to get into the top 6 by the end of Friday. So Synthesis, please do this.
Yeah, please. Yeah, look, there's no ways that, I think we're having a look at this, and Synthesis should at the very least be a 3-1. Like, that is what I expect out of a team like Synthesis. This is what I want from them. They're going against a low seed team, SB, who are punching quite high. But if that one goes if that one goes to game 5, this is BO5, so it can't. But yeah, if it goes to overall, that's going to be wild. And I just think of all the games, the most certain of is Synthesis, SB, and Pioneers, LFO. LFO is a good team, but they're not beating Pioneers. Synthesis, they only if they trip on the way in will they lose to Team SB. I think those are my two. If I had to bet money on stuff, I would bet money on those games, because right now, like you said, Midwest Mafia are the Chaos Merchants, but so are the Punishers. Like, I know that Pyro was talking them up, quite a bit, but they've also tripped and fallen along the way. None of these boys have deserved, contender titles consistently. We've had to apologize to the Punishers before, but then the very next split, they don't do what they did the one before. So, there's two very certain games and there's two very uncertain games for me. And I'm looking forward to the weekend to find out which ones and which way those ones swing.
All right. Well, I'm going to throw my weight as much as it carries any behind Astronic for the chaos factor there. I think this is a great opportunity for them with Inspire playing locally on decent ping to make a statement. If they go up and down like they have, I'm going to be enormously frustrated. But I'm going to give them the local player buff for that one. We'll see if I get proved wrong on that or not. And now we shall segue into Group B, the Group B matchups. Death Cloud, Fusion, Strive Esports, White Rabbit Gaming, Five Fears Thrive to Greatness, Marine Region versus Rounds. To me, a far more clear-cut bracket.
Okay, you say clear-cut. I want to hear your clear cuts right now.
Death Cloud Esports, Strive Esports, Five Fears, Rounds.
Okay, all right.
That's who I see.
Cut, hey?
Easy for me.
Okay. DCE, sure. Strive, no, I don't. The way that White Rabbit proceeded through Swiss, I think that's going to be a dicey fixture. 5 Fears.
I think you're talking cuck, Bromia, just to have a different opinion.
So. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. And then the way that you're like, Rounds, easy top 8, against Marine Region, who actually seeded
Rhino's not happy,
well.
bro. Yeah, Rhino's not happy.
I got banned from their chat. I couldn't care less because right now Rounds haven't proven me wrong yet, and I would love to see Rounds succeed. But they're going against Marine Region, who went 3-1. Rounds went to Series 5 in Swiss. Marine Region made it all the way through, and the only people they lost to against was Astronic. Rounds, having beaten, let's have a look, doing it for Greybeard, okay. Strive, they lost 3-1. They went to game 5 against Fusion. They lost against Bro Crocro's 3-1. And then they went 3-1 against Ibeles. So I feel like even though Rounds had an easier step into the top 16, they still went all the way to game 5. So I'm going to bet it here. I'm going to say Marine Region takes it 3-1.
Oh my God! That means I got to listen to Rhino and Bromeo in the broadcast this weekend. Oh Jesus!
No, so
You get
like
to
yeah.
listen to Rhino and Bromeo this regional. Yeah, this one. I'm a little bit on Graybeard's side here. I think it is clear cut. Like Death Cloud to me, just maybe Strive can take it to him, man. I'm pretty hyped up on this reunion roster. Like, if they truly did grind during the off split, right, between splits 1 and 2, staying together and repping reunion together, I kind of like Willow Eagle there. But Death Cloud are scary. I actually can't predict the upper finals there. I don't know who wins between Death Cloud and Strive.
Yeah.
But yeah, five fears to me couldn't have an easier path. I mean,
okay, well, I'm going to go back to Group A, Pyro, and start with you. So, I mean, we went through our sort of round 1 matchups, but who makes it out of Group A? Who are the 4 teams that go top 8?
Okay, I wasn't ready for that. Yeah, I am. Synthesis, Punishers, Pioneers, Brokokra. Oh, no. Wait, who would Astronic play in the lowers? That's the question. So, like, Synthesis, Pioneers, Brokokro, but I want to see a world where Astronic. I don't know how the bracket works.
Hold on. Okay, let me see. So, in Group A. So what's your question, Pyro?
If Astronic lose to Brokokros, who do they play?
They would play lower bracket, loser of upper quarter final, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if they lost there, they would play LFO or Pioneers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I can see a world where Astronic beat LFO. So you're saying that would be their next game if they lose that to Qual?
No, that doesn't make sense. Hold on, that surely doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. We'll have to get a live bracket next time so we could see.
Oh, do you know what? I could actually do this. I'm going to put fake results in. I'm going to put fake results in on this. So Synthesis will go, let's call it 3-1. Midwest Mafia will go 2-3. Pioneers will go 3-0. And Brokokros, let's say 3-1 against Astronic. Yeah, they would play LFO. I was correct. Yeah. So they play the loser of Pioneers LFO.
Okay, so I would choose Astronic over LFO, and then I think they would play the loser of, say, it's Synthesis Punishers.
Yeah.
So would you take Astronic over Punishers? I think so.
This is, yeah, do you know what? But that's, Astronic are that kind of team right now. You put them up, other than Five Fears and Pioneers, they're a team like, they could.
So this is saucy, but my top 4 is going to be Synthesis, Pioneers, Brokokro, Astronic. It's very timid on Astronic because Punishers and LFO look scary. But yeah, I'm going to put my belief in Astronic. I'm flipping back on the Astronic train, man.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Pyro took a month to get through his 4 teams coming out there. How about you, Bromeo?
I mean, I'm not gonna sit and do the math on who meets who in the lowers, but just having a look at these matchups right here, right now, Synthesis takes Midwest Mafia. It's Punishers. That's going to go the distance, but
this is coming out. This is coming out of the whole group, making top 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think of the people that I'm least certain to make it through, LFO are looking dicey, and Midwest Mafia, I don't think, and SB. So I'd say at least 4 or 5 of them we're seeing coming out of here. And that would be Synthesis, Punishers, Pioneers, Brocrocos, Astronic. LFO I'm not sold on. And let's just have a quick look on Group B.
Group
just
B.
So DCE, 5 Fears, and there's some interesting matchups here. But I do think Marine Region's going to beat Rounds, but I don't think they make top 8.
All right, so your top 4 out of Group B coming out of Group B is going to be Death Cloud, Strive, 5 Fears, and Rounds.
Marine. They'll beat Rounds.
No, they'll beat Rounds, but will they make it out of? Will they be top 8?
No.
So who's your top 8?
DCE, Strive, 5 Fears, and the other 5 from the other side, if that's even possible.
That's not possible.
No, it's not, Bromeo. It's
4 aside.
from each group.
So it has to be. It has to be then. Marine.
Has to be.
Marine.
Okay, Marine.
No, it doesn't have to be. They could lose to White Rabbit Gaming. White Rabbit would make it.
Yeah, but they won't though.
Okay, so
mine was way less frustrating than that. I had real results and predictions. You're like, I'll take 5 from Group A and 3 from Group B. It does not work like that.
You know what? It might not work that way, but when it comes to predicting, I'm still winning, so it's fine.
Yeah, okay. But you're going to get you're getting minus 12 points for saying 5 out of Group A.
Look, in the day. We're chilling.
All right, fine. Well, for me, again, it's clear cut, and it's the 4 I mentioned before: Death Cloud Esports, Strive, 5 Fears, and Rounds. Rounds will make top 8. I'm giving Renshiro the local ping buff, as I am giving Inspire local ping buff. But then there's also Halloist. For Strive, he's chilling out in Reunion. And by the way, let me just give a shout out to the number of people who have flown out. Even doing it for Greybeard, their EU third is flying out to take a holiday in South Africa so he can compete for the rest of the season on local ping. And it's been just shout out to you guys for doing that. It's quite and listen, you're young. It's an adventure for you. I know it's awesome, but it's great to have you here. So well done to all of those that are making the effort. And then that is pretty much that. That's kind of the news for the night, gents. I mean, obviously, Friday night. Are you on any team stream, Pyro?
Presumably 5 Fears on Friday.
Okay, great. Well, I'll of course be watch partying. And there's a bunch of team streams, so most of the action on Friday night should be covered. And then, of course, the main broadcast on Saturday. And I don't think I'm speaking out of turn to confirm that it is being broadcast on SuperSport. So not just on Twitch, we will be on SuperSport. And I hope like hell that I'm not speaking out of turn there. If I am, then you may well not see me on the broadcast this weekend.
If he is, you heard nothing.
Yeah, no. If that is not coming to pass, it means that Greybeard was simply not feeling well today and just started saying things that didn't make sense. So just back him up on that.
Side effect of the meds.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's to wrap it all up here, Bromeo. Any update on what's going down RSC EU? I know you've been involved there. How's it going? I know it's coming to an end. Where do we stand? What's going down?
Look, we have found us. This is one of those RSC seasons that I'm trying to get into because it's a shortened format. It's 5 weeks long. So we're heading into week 4 now. We're already 60% away done. But it's really, really cool to see our master team who does have Renshiro in it. Is doing pretty decently.
But now he has to play on Cuck Ping.
No, now he has to play on Trash Ping. So they're currently in 5th place. Our elite team, the brothers, are in 1st. Rival, they're not doing so well. They're out in 8th. Our challenger team is in 9th. Our prospect team, because they've got 6 tiers here. We've only got 4 in SSA. The Chinas, they are in 6th. And our academy team doing really well. They are the Chums. They're in 2nd. So if you want to follow that's what's happening, they have it all on the web app, which is rsc-community.com. And you can see all of the stuff there. I'll get a link posted as well if you want to follow what the boys in RSCEU are up to. But it's good fun. And the knockout stages are coming soon. So you will either see me being very depressed or very happy in a short, compressed format. So I have no idea the way it's going. But for the first season in, bro's not doing too bad.
Excellent to hear. And Rhino is demanding to be heard. Yet he turns down the invitation to come and put his case forward live and in person. And now he's doing a demanding attention in chat. But yeah.
So he actually called us out on RSE Cast last week.
Yeah.
I posted the video. I don't think you guys watched it. I just tagged it again. You can pull it up if you feel like it. It's a clip, and we can let the people decide. But basically, they say they're better Rocket League players than us. Rhino.
Wait, hold on. Who's they? They being
Rhino, Sir Pegasus, and some other random who happens to be good at Rocket League.
You mean like actually wait. Playing Rocket League?
Yeah, playing a whole game. Playing a whole game.
Okay,
where do I need to flex my 20 GC titles? I'm curious.
Yes.
Where do I need to flex
No. Right now? We're getting Rhino on our team. Bromeo, you might have to be benched, but we might set something up in that regard.
Yeah, we'll have to sort something out. But Rhino is saying that his, because remember, he's the host of RSE Cast. His, Rhino included, is better than us, yourself, me, and Pyro. But I feel like we're allowed to sign a marquee player because they did have a high, I think a 17 or 1900 player. So
yeah,
they're definitely bringing in the sweats.
I've got faith in Pyro, Romeo. I think you and I are gonna fuck this up. So I'm not gonna make any commitments live on stream right now. I need to think about this.
Fair. That's fair and valid. Let's think of a good way to take this on. But however it transpires, EU's going down.
We don't need any caveats. We don't need any help from this or that. We can take them.
Oh, Jesus, Pyro, please.
Okay,
your mouth is writing a check.
You play the game more than probably every single pro that it competes in RLCS. Okay, you've got the experience. I've got the talent, and Bromeo's there too. We can do this.
Oh wow!
In our SSA. South African servers. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's set that up.
I mean, it's going to be interesting because we'd have to figure out servers. We'd have to figure out why I'm sick that day, and we had to get guns. The guns to play instead.
Hey, Romeo, you're the Gibbs of the SSA broadcast. So just sit in net.
I'll play goalie. I'll play goalie. Yeah. It'll work. But
brilliant.
Yeah, let's figure it out. I think we should do something because I love watching the EU boys lose. It makes me so happy. So let's do this.
And let's make sure that we're reasonably comfortable that will happen. Okay, good. Well, that's RSC and Pyro. What's going on in your world?
Oh boy, quite a bit. As I mentioned, I've been casting for those CRL events. I'm getting really excited for SSA, and over on twitch.tv/PyroJ_. We're streaming daily, so you should come on over for our Minecraft server, our Marbles on Mondays, which is today, our Dark Souls 3 playthrough, our Red Dead Redemption 2 playthrough, and so much more. We're doing a lot over there. I'm having a lot of fun.
So Pyro is going to stay live. So this episode of Just Saying is being dual broadcast on my Twitch and on Pyro's. And Pyro is going to stay live, which does bring me to a technical question, Pyro. Is it possible for me to raid you with who's watching my stream? I can still do that,
There's
right?
only one way to find out.
Okay, well, we're going to go and raid Pyro. Next Monday, I had a coach reach out to me, and I'm actually bringing him on we're going to have him on next Monday, and the topic we're going to be talking about is specifically the path from sort of bubble player to pro. So if you're, none of the teams that are making, not consistently making top 32, but there and thereabouts, or you want to go, what is the path you should be following to get your gameplay improved so you can start making the push and the jump towards top 32 and then top 16 and then top 8 from there. So next Monday, tune in for that. I think it'll be very informative. Let all of your aspiring pros know that that'll be the topic of next week's podcast, and that's going to wrap it up for us. Let's see if I can raid Pyro. Does it? So if I click following. Oh, yeah, I can raid Pyro. Okay, so we're going straight from this episode of Just Saying to Pyro stream. Make sure you're following him if you aren't already. And go and hang. Well, you've seen him here. You've seen him on the main broadcast. The man streams. This is what he does, and he does it magnificently. So we'll go from here to Pyro. So from all of us to all of you, peace. Oh, do you know what? I didn't click raid. Okay, so now I have to let it wait and wait for it to say raid now. And then
it's done. We're chalked.
we're chalked. Okay. Hello, Colax. Hello,
guys.
Furious Wave. Okay, raid now. Peace out. Me, Greybeard, Brobio, Pyro. Peace. Bye. And that is done.